My name is Cristofer Wolz-Romberger. I actually work with the same client, Tabletop Security, but as a computer science student, I was asked to create a board game for them. One of the board games that they're using, and my advisor was Kate Lockwood. So the problem that tabletop security is facing, in fact our nation is facing, is that computer science is lacking, especially before college. A lot of schools don't have computers or don't have enough computers. My experience working with a school last year was that there was a single classroom with computers, and the average class got half an hour a week inside the computer lab, and the teachers didn't know how to, or weren't prepared to teach computer science to the students. And there's no tests for it, so it's really lacking. And so the solution is create board games. The advantage of board games is that they aren't dependent on computers, so you don't need to do it in a computer lab. They're a lot less intimidating. Looking at lines and lines and lines of code, even for somebody who has worked with computers before, even somebody who's worked with code before, can be intimidating. Board games aren't intimidating, and that's not intimidating both to the students, but also to the teachers who have to teach this. So what I provided, that's an earlier prototype than the one I have today, but what I have is a prototype, a fully playable game that, if the indications for my playtest are anything, it's fairly fun, and it conveys some of the basic ideas of computer science, how programming, kind of how to arrange instructions to create a program, and how to think ahead where the program is going to go so that you can plan for the future. The outcomes, even though I'm a computer science major, making a board game doesn't seem like it, but in fact, making games, whether it's a board game or a computer game, a lot of the ideas are the same. It's just how you implement them that's different. How do you make a game fun? How do you make a game that teaches something? That's the same regardless of whether you're working in computers or board game or in athletics. Most of what I did was I went through a design, playtest, revision cycle. So I create a prototype, go out, play it either by myself or with some friends or with my clients, and then based on the play testing, determine what needed to happen for the next prototype. And I went really low tech. I used Google Docs mostly because it was a nice, easy way to communicate with everybody else who was involved, to let people see what I was doing. But if I had wanted to, I could have done it entirely pencil and paper. But Google Docs was nice because it's convenient. I can access it anywhere. I also use Basecamp some to communicate with my clients. What I learned, I think a lot of people will talk about working with a client. A lot of people talking about time management. A lot of people will talk about real-world experience. And those were all things I learned. For me, though, the big thing I learned that was specific to me was the difference between making a game fun versus making fun into a game. If I could go back and change one thing, what I would do is, instead of coming up with a concept for a game and struggling to make it fun, I would have started by talking with people who are in computer science, who are in computer security, ask them why they're there, what's fun about it, and make that into a game. So thank you. I'm in room 171, which is on the other end of this building. If you have any questions, or if you want to play the game, I do have a prototype handy. And yeah, thank you for your time.